From the grounds of Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, the Harwich Mariners finally back in the win column, and they're above 500. And after dropping 4 straight games, they visit the red-hot Bourne Braves, which have won 7 of their last 10 games. And it all comes here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Hello, everyone, and welcome into tonight's game broadcast here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Wyatt Copeland alongside Devin Dobek as we welcome you into the Harwich Mariners pregame show, just about set for national anthem on a picture-perfect sky here from Western Cape Cod. We'll bring you the starting lineups here today for the Harwich Mariners at 12-11 on the season. With Joe Savino on the mound, the right-hander set to transfer to Virginia. His lineup backs him up as follows. Leading off, the center fielder of UMass Lowell, number 36, Jacob Humphrey. Batting second, the second baseman, number 21, Daniel Rivera of Southern New Hampshire, now set to go to Kansas State. Batting third, the first baseman out of Virginia, number 38, Ethan Anderson. Batting cleanup out of South Carolina, number 27, the left fielder, Kennedy Jones. Batting fifth, the right fielder of Virginia, number 26, Casey Sauke. Batting sixth, the shortstop of Texas A&M, and the number 30, Ali Camarillo. Batting seventh, the designated hitter out of Miami, number 35, Lorenzo Carrer. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 14, Andrew Yu of Duke. And rounding out the starting 9 for 20th year head coach Steve Englert, the third baseman of Nebraska Omaha, number 32, Devin Hurdle. And Devin, you consider what Joe Savino needs. He didn't go as deep as he wanted to in that last start in that loss at Chatham. The Mariners' second in 4 games. He can certainly look to put that past him here today.
Absolutely, and with Joe Savino, just the right guy you want on the mound. Warrior mentality. Every time he steps out there, he's going to give you everything he's got. He's really composed despite all the jams he gets in. Might not get out of all of them, but never loses composure, always keeps a level head, and he's exactly the guy you want going up against one of the hottest teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League. You alluded to it a little bit. Got pulled in the 3rd inning of his last start after throwing 59 pitches, 3 earned runs, 5 hits. But Joe, a guy who we thought was going to be leaving Harwich last week, he sticks around, and now an opportunity for revenge. I don't think he can write it much better than that, Wyatt.
Savino, the Ronkonkoma, New York native, with a fastball, a slider, and a changeup, and is sort of looking to get off to a better start here today. He allowed those 3 earned runs on 5 hits in that 8-1 loss at Chatham for his first defeat on the season. He had 2 wins before that. Enters here tonight with a 5.63 ERA. Well, the Mariners set to go here, just about set for first pitch. The wind blowing out to left field. The Bourne Braves, meanwhile, at 12-10-1 here on the season. Not too far behind Katuitt, still 4 wins in the Cape Cod West Division standings, wearing their home white uniforms with red block lettering and numbering as well. Bourne script across the chest. Harwich, meanwhile, in its road navy uniforms with red block lettering, white outline, gray pants, blue trim, and blue and red socks. As we step aside for the national anthem, we're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back live from Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. It's what's turned into a beautiful evening as the Harwich Mariners look to win their second straight game here tonight. Going up against Ryan Fisher out of NJIT, certainly one of the more premier starting right-handers in the America East Conference. Devin had a 3.7 strikeout-to-walk ratio in his fourth season as he's set to face the Mariners lineup at 6'2", 225, the senior.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him pitch. Had a great last outing. Just went a scoreless 2 innings against the top-seeded Cotuit Kettleers. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts in that 13-1 win against the Kettleers. 4 combined earned runs and 2 prior losses for him. So definitely on the up-and-up, trending there. Really excited to see what he comes with against a Harwich Mariners lineup who's been really shaky. When they're hot, and when they're not hot, I mean, it's a long time to be a Mariners fan. So we'll see what Fisher comes with against what seems to be a new group every night, Wyatt.
Well, the Mariners taking their second straight visit to Bourne Park, tied at 1 game apiece with the Braves in the season series. The Mariners having 6 combined runs after losing 5-3, as the Mariners now look to take a victory here and get ahead in the win column once again. They're a 1 game behind Yarmouth Dennis for first place in the Cape Cod Baseball League East Division standings. Last night, it was a 6-inning shutout from Josh Bostic, the right-hander out of UT Arlington, as Joe Savino will be on the mound here. But first, it will be up to Fisher for a Bourne team that certainly has had its strengths this season, especially over the past 10 games. It's won a lot of one-run games, Devin, but still an ERA with the 4th lowest in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Harwich will have its hands full here tonight in the lineup.
Absolutely, and we've talked about how Harwich has been trying to find their identity, especially as of late with all these incoming guys, but you've really had a lot of guys step up in that same vein. I mean, Jacob Humphrey last night, a pair of hits, hit a 2-run home run, his first of the season. He leads the league in runs scored with 17. Really looking forward to seeing what kind of damage he does here against these Bourne Braves. If you recall, Wyatt had a double out to left field last time we were here at Bourne Park.
And should he get on base, Devin has the 3rd most steals in the Cape Cod League. The first pitch on the way to Humphrey, he booms it foul to the left side. Running out to his right, Shafreda, and he'll let it fly over the left field fence for strike number 1. Well, the first pitch comes in at 6:04 p.m., 81-degree temperatures, partly cloudy skies here from Buzzards Bay. Winds blowing southeast at 4 miles per hour as the wind blows in from right field. Just underway here. Next pitch, a fastball missing high at the letters, as it's 1 ball and 1 strike here to the leadoff hitter out of UMass Lowell. No score here from Bourne Park. The Mariners and the Braves meeting for the 3rd time on the season. The first meeting, well, it was a historical one. It was a 3-0 victory. The pitch, fastball swing and a miss. It goes to 1-2. It was a rain-shortened 5-inning victory, and it turned into the 400th coaching victory for Steve Angler here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Kelly Nicholson, the Orleans head coach, just joining him over the past couple of weeks. 2-strike pitch, a changeup missing low as it goes to 2-2. A good take here from Humphrey, who's really begun to find his way on base so subtly but also so notably. It's been an interesting combination here. None gone, no score here in the top of the first. Harwich and Bourne meeting here at Bourne Park. A 2-2. Breaking ball down low, and did he go around into yes from the first base umpire in Arturo Balmonte. That's the first strikeout here for Ryan Fisher out of NJIT. And without further ado, we'll bring you the umpiring crew here today at Bourne Park, calling balls and strikes behind home plate. Jeffrey Kinney. At first base is Arturo Balmonte, and at third base is Marvick Gomez. As we bring you the Bourne defensive alignment from left to right in the outfield, Chafreda, Stanfield, and Diggs. On the infield corners at third, Eblin. At first, Garrett Michelle. Shortstop is Jonathan Vastine out of Vanderbilt. Now the first pitch to Daniel Rivera, skies over towards the right side. Onto the first base line, moving in Michelle. He makes the catch and fights off the Sun. And there are 2 up and 2 away. The battery might here tonight to Ryan Fisher. The starting man for the Bourne Braves is Derek Bender. Well, 2 away here, a strikeout and a pop-out, as the Mariners want to look to Ethan Anderson, the first baseman, and certainly someone similar to Casey Sauke's counterpart from Virginia, who has really gotten off to a strong start here in the lineup.
Absolutely. Had an offer in the game last night. Actually did end up reaching on an error, though. But other than that, had his first home run, a blast out to deep right field earlier, just a couple games ago against the Brewster Whitecaps. And when he gets a hold of it, Wyatt, it really goes a long way. I mean, we've seen him have some warning track outs, especially last night, pair of them, and really looking forward to seeing how he improves in this number 3 spot.
0-1, foul to the left side again, same spot. 0-2 here to the Virginia Beach, Virginia native, and Anderson, who just played for a Virginia team that went to the College World Series again this season under longtime head coach Brian O'Connor. No score here in the top of the first, 2 away. The 2-strike pitch, fastball zips high as it goes to 1-2.
It's a warm night tonight, just under 80 degrees, but when the sun goes behind the clouds, it's really nice and cool. There's a good breeze that goes by. Perfect night for summer baseball.
You said earlier the sun was beating down your neck. That's subsided here. The 1-2. Fastball misses low at the knees. It goes to 2-2. It's gotten pleasant. You know, you don't have exactly an overwhelming breeze, but maybe you almost don't need that here as there's hardly a cloud in the sky here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful night. I did have to pop the collar earlier just to protect my neck from the sun. It was warm.
Base pass empty, 2 away. The 2-strike pitch. Fastball on the inner corner, and it gets called looking. Anderson strikes out looking here for the second strikeout from Ryan Fisher out of NJIT as he sends the Mariners down in order with a pair of punch-outs and a pop-out. Going into the bottom half of the first, still no score between the Mariners and the Bourne Braves in inter-division action here tonight from Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. We'll step aside. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Durham Park in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. Wyatt Copeland and Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Mariners go down in order with a pair of strikeouts against Ryan Fisher out of NJIT. We'll bring you the starting lineup for the homestanding Bourne Braves at 12-10-1 on the season. Leading off the center fielder, number 10, Chris Stanfield. Batting second, the shortstop out of Vanderbilt. Number 2, Jonathan Vastine. Batting third, the catcher out of Coastal Carolina, number 44, Derek Bender. The cleanup hitter is number 36, the right fielder, Kendall Diggs. Batting fifth, the first baseman of Virginia Tech, number 19, Garrett Michelle. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 32, Joshua Kuroda Grauer. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 21, Cam Foster of Liberty. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 24, Pete Chafreda. And the 9-hole hitter is the third baseman, number 9, Bryce Eblin of Alabama. Stanfield digs in from the right side. Joe Savino, the 6'3", 215-pound senior of Ronkonkoma, New York. On the mound, he winds and fires the first pitch. Breaking ball misses or goes on the inner half for strike number 1 here to Stanfield. Savino working quickly. The 0-1 misses low as it goes to 1-1 here to Stanfield.
He does not waste too much time out of there. We saw it with Bostic last night, working on an efficient clip, tends to work against these hitters.
1-1 offering. Fastball on the upper half as it goes to 1-2. Well, we said he has the fastball, the slider, and the changeup. We'll see which he goes to on the more favored options here. The 1-2, breaking ball tapped over towards the left side. Rolling ball for Camarillo at short. He fires onto first. And there's one away with the leadoff hitter gone here for Bourne.
Really nice play that time by Camarillo as that one was starting to slow down as it made its way over to him on the infield dirt. Had to rush the throw and was able to beat the runner in Stanfield by just a half step. Really nice job there, and always great when you can get that speedy leadoff guy out.
Mariners 5th in fielding percentage in the Cape Cod Baseball League. They're just over one half of the season. We'll bring you the defensive alignment as Jonathan Vastine steps up, the southpaw out of Bartow, Florida, as he watches one low for ball number 1. Just finished his second season at Vanderbilt under longtime head coach Tim Corbin. Savino still quick, the 1-0. On the lower outside corner as it goes to 1-1. From left to right in the outfield for Harwich at 12-11 on the season. Jones, Humphrey, and Sauke on the infield corners. Hurdle and Anderson from left to right. The 1-1 line back to the screen. And it's 1-2. Camarillo and Rivera at shortstop and second. Andrew Yu, the catcher out of Duke, catching for Joe Savino here tonight as he looks for his first strikeout here today. The 2-strike pitch. Slider missing outside as it goes to 2-2. Mariners certainly looking to get that ERA down after a very solid and endorsing outing out of Josh Bostic last night. Meanwhile, the 2-2 from Savino. Lofted out towards right center field, charging in Sauke. And instead, it's going to be Humphrey on the dive. He won't be able to make the catch. It bounces in front of him as Vastine coasts in a second with a 1-out base hit. The Vanderbilt product not making any certain time as of now as he gets the Bourne Braves on the board with a hit here in the first.
Yeah, really nice piece there to place it right out in that Bermuda Triangle area. And Jacob Humphrey covers a lot of ground. He's so fast, probably the best, one of the best in the league to have a chance at that baseball, and unfortunately just comes up short. Really nice effort, though. And now you got to go through Derek Bender, and he is really on a tear this season.
On a tear as he watches a strike on the upper outside corner. Runner on second in Vastine after a one-out base hit. The Mariners and the Braves scoreless here in the bottom of the first from Doran Park. 0-1 on the way. Slider bounced over towards the left side. Gamarillo at the lip of the outfield grass. Going to be a tough play as he ultimately won't make the throw. Vastine stays put at second. Bender reaches on a single to shortstop. And just as we were about to get to him, Devin, he has 23 hits and 9 walks through his first 15 games here in Bourne. And he's been on a cruise, but all means that he doesn't even have to get it past the infield that time.
He has been on a tear, but yeah, Devin Hurdle really kind of tied up in a tough spot there, being pulled in 2 different directions. Doesn't want to leave the third base bag because then it would allow the runner in Vastine to advance down at third, but probably should have cut the angle on that ball to get it over to first. No way Camarillo would have made that play over, even with a strong throw.
Camarillo was backing up towards the lip of the outfield grass. The first pitch to Kendall Diggs, the cleanup hitter, missing low on a breaking ball. It wasn't the slowest moving ball, but you'd certainly not want to risk the error. Runners on first and second here. Vastine on second, Bender on first after the infield single, 1 away here in the bottom of the first. The 1-1, a fastball missing high and away as it goes to 2-0 here to Diggs, the sophomore out of Arkansas of the SEC. He had his first 2-hit game with 1 double in that 1-run loss to Wareham. And he had a breakout second year. I tell you, it was a real breakout year from his first year. Pitch taken on the upper corner as it goes to 2-1 here. Savino looking for another win here on the season after getting tagged with loss in an 8-1 defeat at Chatham. Still in last place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. The Mariners coming off a 5-0 win against the Orleans Firebirds last night. Looks back at second, the 2-1. As it misses outside, it goes to 3-1.
And just unfortunate for Savino. He's getting the pop-ups. He's getting the ground balls. They're just being placed so perfectly, and they're not leading to outs.
Mariners can ill afford to give away some free outs here. 3-1. Slider misses low and inside above the shoe tops as the bases are loaded here. Vastine into third, Bender into second, Diggs into first, and there's more than traffic on the base pass here against Savino.
Yeah, he's running into a little bit of trouble now. Bases loaded, but Garrett Michelle, a guy who leads the Cape Cod Baseball League in strikeouts with 30, so got to find a way to pitch through him.
First pitch, a swing and a miss on a slider for strike number 1. Vastine on third, Bender on second, Diggs on first. Mariners and Braves scoreless here in the bottom of the first with just 1 down. Here's the pitch. Tapped back to the screen, and it's 0-2 here. Double play opportunity is available for a Mariners team that has certainly been catering in the infields. 0-2. Tapped foul again. It's going to stay at 0-2 here. It's been catering in the middle infield this season, but the Mariners have also had their issues on the road and getting out of innings as of late. Here's the 0-2. Just misses the outer half. As Michelle stays alive, it's 1-2.
And despite the 30 strikeouts for Michelle, does have 12 runs batted in, a pair of home runs, 3 doubles, and 17 hits.
1-2, a swing and a miss. Savino pulls out the string that time on Michelle. And to your point, Devin, certainly not the biggest guy to avoid strikeouts this season, now 2 away to bring up Joshua Kuroda-Grauer.
Yeah, now you got a huge opportunity here for your Joe Savino. A chance to get out of these jams. We've seen it so many times. How about one more?
First pitch, a slider, line back for strike number 1. Scoreless here in the bottom of the first. Now 2 down here for the right-hander out of Ronkonkoma, New York, in Joe Savino. This past season at Elon, his 3rd season with the Elon Phoenix of the CAA, had 3 saves with a 3.86 ERA aside from 5 wins. High on strikeouts. The 0-1. Slider misses low, goes to 1-1 here. Mariners could really use a win here to keep pace with the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. A win behind, but 3 losses behind as well. Here's the 1-1 from the right-hander. Fastball missing high as it goes to 2-1.
Falling behind in the count now. Got to be careful. Can't leave anything over the plate, but also can't afford to lose too many more pitches.
The 2-1 offering. Fastball clips the upper half. It goes to 2-2 as Kuroda Grauer will have to protect. Bases loaded with 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Bourne up to bat with Vasta on third, Bender on second, Diggs on first. 2-2, line back up the middle and past the second base bag, past the sliding grab of Rivera. That'll score 1 in Vastine. Right behind him, Bender, as he will score standing up on a 2-out, 2-run base hit here from Joshua Kuroda Grauer. And the Mariners now trail 2-1 here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, just tough break there if you're Savino. Unfortunately, hung that one, looking to get the fancy strikeout, and just gets laced right back up the middle. Credit to the batter and Kuroda Grauer to find the way to put a bat in a baseball with 2 strikes in that situation. Gives his team the early lead and the momentum.
Cameron Foster now, the 7-hole hitter, stepping up with 2 away. First pitch, sky to the right side, foul. Anderson running over to the Harwich dugout, and he'll run out of room as it bounces on top of the dugout. Mariners behind 2-0 here with 2 away in the bottom of the first. Joe Savino looking to get out of a mini jam here with runners on first and second without further damage. The 0-1 deal. Looped foul back behind home plate as it's quickly 0-2.
And I mean, just thinking back in this inning, you had the bloop single out in center field, and then you had the infield single over to shortstop, and just these little ticky-tack plays that end up hurting the Mariners every time.
The 0-2. It misses high, it goes to 1-2. Mariners are 11-10, or 11-2 rather, when leading after 6 innings this season. But they're only 4-6 when their opponent scores first. Not the biggest hole to climb out of if Savino can escape. A 1-2. Slider swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 strikeouts here for Joe Savino in the bottom of the first. But Bourne gets the game's first 2 runs, and it's a 2-run single from Joshua Kuroda Grauer that puts the Mariners behind going into the second. We'll step away for a moment. The Mariners behind 2-0 here at Dorn Park. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mariners trail the Bourne Braves 2-0 going into the top of the second here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in early July from Dorn Park. The wind blowing out to left field. Ryan Fisher out of NJIT steps back on the mound for his second inning of work. He set the Mariners down in order. Kennedy Jones, Casey Sauke, and Ali Camarillo, the middle of the order, due up here. Looking for that game's first hit for the Mariners lineup. Here's the first pitch. Slider swung on and missed. Low and away for strike number 1. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners Network tonight. The Mariners getting back in the win column last night with a 5-0 win over the East Division opponent in the Orleans Firebirds. 0-1 sky to the right side fouls. It's quickly 0-2 to the South Carolina outfielder. Mariners going down with a strikeout swinging and 1 looking against the right-hander and one of the America East Conference's finest in Fisher back in the first. 2-strike pitch. Slider swung on and missed. Third strikeout here for Fisher, as he's retired all 4 he's faced early on.
Yeah, doesn't he look locked in out there? I mean, everything working for him, really such a good sign out of your starter, and a guy who hasn't pitched in the starting role too much. He's only made 1 start in his 3 appearances, now 2 in his 4, and seems to have everything under control out there. And Scott Lander's a guy who not afraid to dive into his bullpen.
First pitch, a ball high at the letters here to Casey Sauke, the right fielder out of Virginia. And you know, the Mariners, they did go down off to a quiet start last night against Orleans at 500. 1-0, a slider swung on and missed to make it 1-1. But they did find that continuity out of the middle of their lineup, and you mentioned late in the game broadcast last night, they got a lot of balance out of the lineup despite having a relative number of strikeouts. The 1-1 slider belted high in the infield to the left side, stepping to his right. Eblin in foul territory, and he makes the grab for the second out here in the second. But, you know, the Mariners, of course, they have run into situations as well where they start to run out of time in the late innings and then are able to come back.
That is true, Wyatt. They are a relentless group, that is for sure. It's just sometimes they're on an offense, sometimes they're not. I mean, we think back to the last time we were here at Bourne Park, and Mariners had the lead 1-0, then they were up 3-1, and then just fell apart, had no offense towards the end of the game. I think they were hitless the last 4 times they came up to the plate, and you just got to find ways to overcome that adversity, put balls in play, and that's when good things happen. Sometimes that hasn't been the case for Harwich.
The first pitch on the way to Ali Camarillo as it gets him on the lower side of the jersey. He reaches as the game's first hits batsman as Harwich has a 2-out base runner. But going back to your point about this series matchup, Harwich has faced Logan Evans of Bourne twice on the mound. So it's really all about not just getting after the starting pitcher, but of course forcing a lot of duress on the Bourne bullpen as well. We'll see what the Mariners are able to do with their first base runner here.
It's a good opportunity, and you got a guy in Lorenzo Carrier who can make a big difference with 1 swing of the bat. Tied for the team high with 2 home runs. He has 2 of the Harwich 10 ever since his arrival just about 3 weeks ago. And a guy who's been in a slump, hitting sub 200, great chance to break out here.
First pitch, a slider looked at on the inner half for strike 1. Carrier, the right-hander out of Miami at 6'5", 225. Native of Barra, Delaware, looking to move a runner in his scoring position here in Camarillo. 0-1, a healthy hack and a miss. Back pick down to first, and it's not going to be in time. Bender was on point, and the throw was very clear-cut, but Ali Camarillo using his speed.
Derek Bender's just been unbelievable. We'll get more into his numbers later, but really nothing he can't do out of Coastal Carolina. He can hit for average, hit for power. He's got a great arm to throw out runners. I mean, really should be interesting to see where he goes in the MLB draft.
Check back over at first, not in time. Mariners behind the Bourne Braves 2-0 here at Doran Park on the road after a home win last night against the Orleans Firebirds. The pitch missing low. Another almost back pick down to first. So it's 1-2 here to Carrier. Still has 3 hits in the last 5 games, an RBI and 2 walks. Fisher, the right-hander, is ready. 2-strike pitch. Changeup on the outer half as it gets called looking. Carrier falls to 0 for 1 on the night as the side is retired here. 2 strikeouts again here in the second inning for Ryan Fisher out of NJIT. The Mariners bring forward to the plate. They score no runs on no hits, no errors, and leave 1 stranded in Camarillo at first. Still 2-0 deficit going into the bottom of the second here from Doran Park. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
Now batting, the left fielder from Rutgers.
Mariners have one base runner through 7 thus far here through the first 2 innings. Joe Savino, the right-hander out of Virginia, back on the mound here. Looking for win number 3 on the season here tonight. He winds and fires the first pitch to Pete Shafreda, and it's a fastball flying outside for ball number 1. We're underway in the bottom half of the second here from Bourne Park. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Bourne Braves, no runs on no hits for the Mariners. Here's the pitch. Strike on the outer corner as it goes to 1-1. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners Network. We talk about Mariners trying to keep their ERA down. 1-1. Slider on the upper outside corner goes to 1-2. Joe Savino trying to get a 1-2-3 job here. That would certainly help in order to keep the damage to a minimum here in the early goings of this one. 2-strike pitch. Tapped highly back off the mound. Savino steps forward. A soft toss over to first, overhanded, and there's 1 away here to begin the bottom of the second.
Another really good start for Savino here in the second. Getting that leadoff man crucial. Now just got to get through the number 9 hitter before you dip right back into that red-hot top of the order that Bourne boasts. I mean, if you look up and down Bourne's lineup, 60% of their team's hitting above 250. I mean, that's just a ridiculous mark to have, especially when you think about them starting off 0-5-1 this season.
First pitch to Eblin, roped to the left side, foul above the Bourne dugout for strike 1. And Devin, that continuity throughout the lineup has catered to the second most RBIs in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. It's no wonder how Bourne has begun to challenge Katuitt for first in the West Division. 0-1, a beautiful slider, cut on and missed, as it's 0-2 here to Eblin, the 9-hole hitter.
I mean, yeah, starting 0-5-1 and now being 12-5 since that time is just a ridiculous clip, and Bourne should be very satisfied with how they've been able to turn it around.
Another 2-strike offering, sliced foul to the left side, Hurdle just running towards his right, but will run out of room. The count stays at 0-2. Mariners trailing the Braves 2-0 here in the bottom of the second from Bourne Park in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. Now, not even a single cloud in the sky. Might have been a generous statement earlier on back in the first. 1 away, nobody on here for Bourne. 2-strike pitch, slider outside. It goes to 1-2 here to Eblin, the junior out of Alabama, Greenwood, Indiana native. He has 11 hits and 8 RBIs. Certainly no easy out here in the 9 spot for the Braves. The wind and deal in the 1-2. Breaking ball misses low, goes to 2-2. We talked about that arsenal that he has. It's a 3-pitch mix between the fastball, changeup, and slider. Certainly could have been deceiving there, but Eblin didn't go. The 2-2. Banged foul back behind home plate. This is turning to a really good at-bat for Eblin, who despite going 0-for-5 in that 1-run loss to Yarmouth Dennis last night, Devin hit .268, 2 home runs, 3 doubles at Alabama. Certainly will be able to go deep in counts here. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Slider, Eblin out in front of that time, as there are now 2 down here in the second.
Now Joe Savino's starting to get in a rhythm, and when he gets in a rhythm, he is the last guy that anyone wants to face. When he's got that slider working especially, it is a really great pitch to watch. I mean, you see it comes in hovering right over the heart of the plate and then drops down and moves inside. Nice job there. Ooh, that one smarts, Wyatt.
First offer to Chris Stanfield, pins him on the outer shoulder as he is removing the helmet just down the third base side here at Bourne Park, and he is in a bit of grimacing pain.
Yeah, he was showing bunt, so had his body square to Savino and then just got drilled right in the chest. That does not, it might have knocked the wind out of him a little bit.
Crowd has fallen to a hush here as the Braves holding a 2-0 lead over the Mariners with 2 down here. He's walking under his own power, but that fastball almost couldn't have been harder against the outer shoulder as he stood in from the right side, as he now gets a warming applause from the faithful here of the Bourne Braves crowd. Second hits batsman here today, Camarillo reached as a 2-out base runner as a hit batsman back in the second. As Savino will not be able to get a 1-2-3 job here to close up the second inning. As Jonathan Vastine, who doubled to center field back in the first, steps up and is looking for more here. Came across a score on a 2-run single from Joshua Kuroder-Grauer, the second baseman, as that is the only scoring here for Bourne, which leads Harwich 2-0 with 2 down in the second. First pitch. Line back to the screen for strike number 1 here to the shortstop out of Bartow, Florida. Vastine here on the season hitting .295 in 14 games with the Braves. A runner on first, Savino out of the stretch from the first base side. 1-0, boom to the right side, or left side foul, I should say. 0-2 here to Vastine.
Now, if you're Savino, way ahead here, you got 2 outs and a runner on. Find a way to throw a few close pitches, get him to bite.
1-2, golf to the left side foul. We'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes here to Vastine. One of the best pure athletes on Vanderbilt this past season. Those are the words of head coach Tim Corbin. Runner on first, 2 away. 0-2. Lofted deep into left field, chasing back Jones all the way to the track. He looks up, and that ball is gone. A 2-run home run from Jonathan Vastine as the Vanderbilt product goes deep here, and he hits his first home run on the season. And the Vanderbilt product gets the Mariners behind 4-0 here in the second with 2 away.
Not a bad pitch that time, just a better swing from Vastine. I mean, he really just punched it way out in a deep left field, opposite field power. It was a fastball up and away, and unfortunately the hit by pitch is going to come back and haunt the Mariners. They just can't get out of their own way right now.
The Mariners, before last night's victory against the Orleans Firebirds, losing 12-6 against the Brewster Whitecaps, which he took an early 2-0 lead. First pitch to Joe Savino to Derek Bender on the outer half for strike 1. The Mariners also lost 7-1, but last night they never trailed as they have a hole here. 0-1, ground to the right side. A huge gasp here as it almost hit Ted Lekos, one of the Harwich assistants, near the Mariners dugout, as it's 0-2 here.
Everybody's laughing now, but it was really close. And I don't think Lekos was paying attention at the time, as he seemed a little startled after the ball hit whatever it did.
0-2, foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. The 4th strikeout here for Joe Savino of Ronkonkoma, New York. But the Virginia product surrenders 2 additional earned runs here in the second on a 2-run home run from Jonathan Vastine. Mariners trail 4-0 going into the 3rd inning here from Dorn Park in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. We'll be back in a moment here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. A 2-run home run from Jonathan Vastine of Vanderbilt for the Bourne Braves, giving the Braves a 4-0 lead over the Harwich Mariners here in the 3rd inning. Ryan Fisher out of NJIT, the right-handed starter, has only allowed 1 base runner thus far. Ali Camarillo reaching as a 2-out hits batsman back in the 2nd inning, as the Mariners need base runners here. Andrew Yu, Devin Hurdle, and Jacob Humphrey due up as the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Mariners. Looking to go for 2 straight wins here today, but they have a hole to climb out of first at 12-11 on the season. First pitch, bounced over towards the right side. Kuroda Grauer moves to his left to lip the outfield grass, and the second baseman makes a play in time to first as there's 1 away on 1 pitch here to start the 3rd.
Yeah, Harwich putting it in play, just not finding homes for it. Weak contact, ground balls, and that's not going to win you games. Not to mention they've already punched out 4 times, a team that strikes out just about 10 times every night, and Harwich going to have to get something figured out early on here before Bourne starts to pour it on.
First pitch on the way to Devin Hurdle. A changeup on the lower half for strike number 1. Bourne getting just its 10th home run on the season back in the second inning on the 2-run blast from Vastine. The Mariners have 10 as well after last night. 0-1, slice to the left side, and a diving grab by Vastine at short. Gets up, fires on a first, and it's not in time. Vastine on the backhand, and the first baseman, and Garrett Michelle, dropped it out of his glove, and it's a hard-hit ground ball, and what should be Mariners' first hit on the night.
And yeah, no, the throw was well in time, like 2 or 3 seconds in time. The glove of Michelle just broke as the ball made contact with it. That would have been the best defensive play I've seen all season had Michelle been able to complete it. But, what an effort, and that one really hurts. But Harwich will take the capitalization on the mistake here.
So instead, it's an error on the shortstop, or rather on the first baseman, I should say. Michelle dropping it out of his glove. The wind blowing out to left field. But Devin Hurdle, the Nebraska-Omaha infielder, not needing a lot of wind on that one as it was sharply hit on the ground here as Jacob Humphrey steps in with only 1 away as opposed to 2. That must have been at least 95 off the bat. First pitch on the way, a slider on the outer half as it gets taken for ball number 1 here for the UMass Lowell product.
I just have no idea how Vastine was able to stop it. It was hitting the hole, and he slid and got it. Got up so quick. Great throw across the diamond, too.
1-0 a fastball going downstairs for ball number 2 to Humphrey. Struck out swinging back in the first. And as Devin mentioned, the Mariners trying to keep their strikeout numbers to a minimum here tonight. Trailing 4-0 here in the top of the third. A check back over at first as Hurdle dives in safely. 4 runs on 4 hits and 1 error committed here for the Bourne Braves hosting the Mariners tonight. No runs and no hits, no errors for the Mariners. 2-0, a slider flying high as it goes to 3-0 here to tonight's leadoff hitter in Humphrey. He's found ways to get on base over the past handful of games. Had a standout season at UMass Lowell as well. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken high and outside. A 4-pitch walk here as that moves Hurdle into second. The Mariners have something brewing here with 2 on in the third.
And if you're Harwich, you've been given this opportunity. Now you got to take it. I mean, you think back to Bourne capitalizing on the mistakes you made. The hit batsman, then comes the home run. And then you had the infield single and the bloop single, and then here goes an RBI single. So now it's your turn. You got 2 on thanks to an error and a walk. Find a way to put the ball in play and get yourself on the scoreboard here early on.
Daniel Rivera stepping up. The Mariners this season right at around average with their team hitting at .245 in the Cape Cod Baseball League. We'll see if they can capitalize here with Hurdle on second, Humphrey on first. Rivera of Southern New Hampshire stepping in. First pitch, a fastball high at the letters for strike number 1, set to transfer to Kansas State. Had 2 hits for a season high against Orleans last night. Looking to translate that here. Mariners in desperate need of an RBI hit to get on the board. Ryan Fisher out of NJIT working from the middle of the rubber here. The 0-1 deal. Slider missing low, a check swing. Rivera didn't go around as it goes to 1-1. Has a 2-game hitting streak through his first 3 games here with the Mariners. First season in Harwich. Has 3 stolen bases as well. Mariners need him to get on in order to accelerate some of the speed. The 1-1. Missing low in the dirt. A good block by the catcher in Bender of Coastal Carolina as it goes to 2-1. Well, the Mariners certainly capitalized last night in the middle innings after a slow start through the first 2 frames. They had a 2-run home run from Jacob Humphrey, an RBI base hit. Out of the leadoff hitter, now stands on first with Hurdle on second. The 2-1 offering. Fastball low, it goes to 3-1 here to Rivera. Has that small frame, but has certainly been disciplined as well.
And Ethan Anderson, a really great contact hitter on deck, so if Rivera can draw a walk, it would be a dangerous hitter coming up with the bases loaded.
Mariners still looking for their first hit here. 3-ball pitch. Spiked out towards left center field, chasing back Stanfield. He's at the track. He makes the catch, moving to his right, tagging from second, Hurdle, and he will reach safely. Humphrey holds up at second. The Mariners with speed on the base pass, but they don't take a risk as there's 1 away, or rather 2 away here, and the Mariners getting a sacrifice hit to put runners on the corners.
Yeah, and you'll take that. A nice swing by Rivera. Unfortunately, just hit it to one of the deeper parts of the ballpark, and it's nothing but an easy catch for Stanfield, who's been such a terrific outfield out there in center for the Braves.
Here's Ethan Anderson, a left-handed hitter out of Virginia. Struck out looking back in the first as the Mariners went down in order. Meanwhile, the Braves scoring 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings, a 2-run single and a 2-run home run from Jonathan Vastine. Hurdle standing on third, Humphrey on first here with 2 down. Fisher with the first offering, a fastball floating high for ball number 1. Anderson getting his first home run on the season in the Mariners' 12-6 loss at Brewster at Stony Brook Fields. A solo home run in the middle innings. 1-0. Fastball cut on and miss. It goes to 1-1. Mariners have had their best shot all afternoon, and they'll certainly be looking back on this one if they're able to convert here. Trailing 4-0 against the Braves in their second trip to Bourne Park on the season. 1-1. Drilled high out towards right field. Towards the line, Diggs, he moves to his left, fights off the sun, and he makes the catch in front of the fence for the loud and last out of the 3rd inning. The Mariners put runners on the corners, and they bring 6 to the plate, but they score no runs on no hits, 1 error, and leave 2 on in Hurdle and Humphrey. Mariners still trailing 4-0, going into the bottom of the 3rd here from Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
The right fielder from the University of Arkansas.
Mariners trail 4-0 against the Bourne Braves here at Bourne Park in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. Harwich on the road after a 5-0 win for their first win in 5 games last night. As Joe Savino, the right-hander out of Virginia, steps back up, set to face Kendall Diggs here, the right fielder. The first pitch, the cleanup hitter, taken on the lower outside corner for strike number 1. Diggs, the left-handed hitter here for the Braves. Had a walk back in the first. The pitch clipping the outer half as it goes to 0-2 here. Mariners need a win here to stay in competition for the top spot in the Cape East Division standings. The 0-2 missing outside. It's 1-2 here. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobek here with you on a gorgeous night as the sun begins to set here on the western side of Cape Cod. The 2-strike pitch. Looped over towards the left side. Hurdle, the third baseman, into foul territory, backing up. He makes the catch for the first out here in the 3rd. So aside from a 2-run single in the first and a 2-run home run from Jonathan Vastine in the second, Savino has shown signs of life trying to settle down here.
Yeah, he's retired every leadoff hitter. It's just once he gets into the middle of the lineup that he's had a lot of trouble, and unfortunately, Bourne capitalizing on mistakes that Harwich has not been.
Here's the first pitch to Garrett Michelle, and it's watched out at the knees for strike number 1. A lot of time left in this one. 1 down in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the pitch outside, and it's 1-1 here to the Virginia Tech Hokies infielder in Michelle. Bourne, a team leading the Cape Cod Baseball League in team average, hitting .276 as a unit, and that is showed early on here. The 1-1 deal. Slider comes down the chute as it goes to 1-2, and that slider is working. It can be an almost unbeatable pitch. We'll see what Michelle elects to do here as the left-hander awaits. A 2-strike pitch, missing low and inside as it goes to 2-2. On deck, Joshua Kuroda-Grauer with a 2-run single to get the Braves on the board back in the bottom of the 1st here. 2-strike pitch. Fastball zips outside as it goes to 3-2. Savino has been able to battle back in counts that he's fallen behind in, but of course he looks for another strikeout here. He already has 4. The 3-2. Oh, slider going outside and just outside the letters as it's a 1-out walk here to Michelle. He reaches for the first time here today.
Just a really tough break that time, and unfortunately, with a hitter like Michelle, you just got to come to him, a guy that has a high whiff rate, and you can't leave pitches outside, come in his kitchen and find a place to leave one in there for a strike. Savino, unfortunately, not up to the task that time, and now we'll see what he can do against Kuroda Grauer.
The second baseman watches it on the outer half for strike number 1. Has played 2 seasons at Rutgers. In his second season here with Bourne, played 44 games with the Newport Goals of the NECBL last season as well. Here's the 0-1. Slider taps the left side foul as it goes to 0-2 here. 2-run single to center field to get Bourne on the board back in the bottom of the first as the Mariners trail the Bourne Braves 4-0 here on the road from Dorn Park. Joe Savino has a ground ball double play opportunity available as he works out of the stretch here. Savino with the hands together at the belt, a 2-strike pitch, a swing and a miss. A fastball blown by Kuroda Grauer that time as he falls to 1 for 2 here on the night as there are 2 down here in the third, and that's the strikeout pitching that Steve Englert needs out of Savino.
Yeah, nasty pitch that time by Joe, and he's really locked in, has his season-high 5 strikeouts. Previous high was 3 against the YD Red Sox back on June the 10th. His NCAA career high is 13 strikeouts, but that was all the way back in 2021 against UNC Wilmington.
First pitch, a changeup down the pipe to Cameron Foster for strike number 1. The sophomore out of Liberty in his first 13 games with the Braves, a hit in each one of them. Again, the versatility certainly alive here for the Braves at this point in the season. The 0-1 from the right-hander as it goes low and away in the dirt. A good block by you behind the plate. It's 1-1.
A good block by me?
It almost goes into who's on first and whoever's on second territory, you know?
Yeah.
So who is on first anyway?
It is in that gray area, Wyatt.
1-1. A swing and a miss on a changeup. It goes to 1-2. So who's on first?
I'd love to get into this, but we got a game to call. We'd be here all night.
4 runs on 4 hits here for the Bourne Braves at home against the Mariners at 12-11 on the season. Bourne at 12-10-1 past the halfway mark. 1-2. Slider goes away from you behind home plate as he loses the mask as Michelle trots into second, representing another runner in scoring position here for Bourne with 2 down.
Yeah, tough. Giving him an extra 90 feet on a ball that should have been caught, and now if you're the Braves, you got a chance.
Braves have a chance on a pass ball here. Andrew Yu trying to stay sharp behind the plate. 2 in the first, 2 in the second for a 4-0 Bourne Braves lead here. Savino looking for one more. 2-2.
Ooh.
Breaking ball just misses low. More of a changeup for that matters. It's 2-2.
Angler's yelling out from the dugout. He didn't like that call. I'm pretty sure I agree with him. That was right in there at the knees. Really good frame, too, by you, and really tough one.
Payoff pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. 6th strikeout for Joe Savino out of Virginia as he reaches a new season high. He does not strike out the side, but he gets a pair and a foul out to the third baseman in Hurdle. So the Braves strand a runner in scoring position after a 1-out walk to Garrett Michelle. They bring 4 to the plate. They score no runs on no hits, no errors, and leave 1 on and in scoring position. Mariners still in a 4-0 hole going into the 4th inning. We'll be right back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Joe Savino up to 6. The Harwich right-handed starter out of Virginia as Kenny Jones, Casey Sauke, and Ali Camarillo do up here with the Mariners trailing 4-0 moving into the middle of frames. And over to my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek, here on the Harwich Mariners Network for the play-by-play responsibilities. Devin.
Thank you, Wyatt. As Kennedy Jones digs in, he'll be followed by Casey Sauke and Ali Camarillo. Here, 4-5-6 due up for the Mariners as they trail in this one 4-0. It's a ball and no strikes now to Jones, who struck out swinging back in inning number 2, and he foul tips this one into the glove to make it a 1-1 count. Kennedy Jones, a new South Carolina Gamecock, formerly at UNC Greensboro, which has a nice pipeline here in Harwich. Of course, Press Kavanaugh, who was second in the batting race back in 2021, came out of UNC Greensboro, and last season returned to Harwich as well. 2 balls and a strike now to Kennedy Jones, as the delivery is going to be rolled over into the shallow infield. Tough play over for Kuroda Grauer, and I believe it will be an infield single.
That's why you
Kennedy
just
Jones
can't give up. When you hit a ball in the infield, you have to run hard. You don't know what the bounce is going to end up with. It was a tough bounce off the mound, hustle play by the second baseman, and Kennedy's just fought that throw out.
We saw him leg out a triple the other day, Sean, against the Brewster Whitecaps, and that time just hits one on the shallow infield and is able to get there, and now has the leadoff man on for just the first time tonight for Harwich. Casey Sauke's turn. He popped out to third back in the second inning. Sauke hasn't had a hit in 2 games, despite having a 5-game on-base streak still active. Had 2 hits in each of his first 3 games as a Harwich Mariner, as he's behind with a swinging strike 0-1. And since then, has just been getting on with walks and getting hit by pitches.
Had a great bomb in Brewster the other day, too. Love to see that again. Get this lead cut in half. See the Mariners get some firepower going.
They do need it. They trail 4-0 in this one early on against the Bourne Braves on a beautiful night. And what Wyatt refers to as Buzzards Bay, I'm going to stick with Bourne personally. I'm not sure exactly where the town lines fall, but I've always been under the impression that Buzzards Bay was over the bridge, and I'm not sure we're over the bridge. But no balls and 2 strikes here from Upper Cape Technical High School, as that breaking ball just misses outside. It's going to be a ball and 2 strikes. Ali Camarillo is on deck for the Mariners, followed by Lorenzo Carrier. Plenty of capable bats in this lineup. The pitch. Cut on a miss. Down goes Casey Sauke. Strikes out by way of the K. And so it will be yet another strikeout for Fisher. His tally up to 5 now.
He's just been special since the start of this game. Knows his control, knows his placement, throwing heat as well.
Camarillo was hit by a pitch. Actually was the first base runner for the Mariners. That came back in the second inning. See if he can get some revenge with a base knock here. Jones will lead off of first. The pitch is going to drop in there for a strike. It's 0-1. 4 runs on 4 hits with 1 error for the Bourne Braves. No runs on 1 hit and no errors for the Harwich Mariners. The pitch to Camarillo is going to miss, or rather be swung on and missed. And so it'll be 0-2. Carrier on deck. M's trying to piece something together here as we head into the middle third of the ball game. Camarillo is going to lift this one into shallow center field. Out to get it is Vastine, and he records it for out number 2 in F6.
Yeah, it's all about what the Mariners can try and do with 2 outs here. Saw the Mariners get a couple of 2-out starts last night. And when the Mariners get runners on the base paths moving, that certainly forces a little bit more duress on a starting pitcher to get him out sooner rather than later.
Lorenzo Carrier digs in now, and for Carrier, started off the season so hot. Wyatt had a 5 RBI game. That's the most the Mariners had in the last couple of seasons, and then since then it's been all downhill. Had another decent game with an extra base hit, and now hitting 180 coming in today. That's second lowest on the ball club across his 50 at-bats. It's 2 balls and no strikes now to the Miami power hitter. Kennedy Jones still on first after recording the first Harwich hit of the ball game. Carrier shoots this one foul up over our heads here. And there's going to be a mosh pit of children trying to make a play on it. as it shoots up and over towards whatever residence that is. It looks like a residence, maybe part of Upper Cape Tech, though, Wyatt. 2-1. It's cut on and miss, making it 2-2. Closing in on the top of the hour, 7 o'clock here in Bourne. Jones over on first. Fisher set for the 2-2. It's going to be chopped and foul just right. It's a slow roller. Is going to need a new ball for Ryan Fisher. He's just been so fantastic, Wyatt. Everything working for him. Picked up strikeout number 5 here in the 4th inning and surrendered just the 1 hit, no earned runs. And Harwich still looking for answers here. Fisher coming set once again. The pitch is going to be shot out in a deep center field. Going back is Stanfield. He's under it and makes the grab about 15 yards in front of the center field wall. So it's allowed out number 3, and the Mariners once again go quietly in inning number 4. Heading to the home half. 4-0 here from Bourne Park. The Braves lead it. We'll be right back. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Rutgers University, number 24, Pete Chufreda.
Pete Chufreda is going to lead things off here in the 4th inning for the Bourne Braves. He'll be followed by Bryce Eblin and then Chris Stanfield. Joe Savino's back out there for his 4th inning of work. He's had a decent night. I mean, you take away an extra base hit and a home run, and just like that, Savino's pitching lights out. 6 strikeouts through 3 innings as he's quickly ahead 0-2 on Chufreda. Chufreda led off the 2nd with a ground out back to Joe Savino, as that one misses just away. And it'll be a 1-2 count. I tell you, I mean, by the time Savino gets the ball back, it's about 5 seconds before that next pitch is coming. You better be ready if you're a hitter and be in the box and prepared, or else you won't even know what hit you.
You mean 5 milliseconds?
Legit, yeah. 2-2. Is going to be grounded right back to Savino almost again. It shoots over to Camarillo and in time for a 6-3 putout. All leadoff hitters have been retired by Savino. See if he can get these next couple outs. Was able to escape the third, facing just 4 batters. First was the worst of it, though. Faced 7 and then 5 in the 2nd. Things continue to go down, and if history said anything in Joe Savino's outing today, he'll face the minimum here. Eblin swings and misses right over the changeup that time to make it 0-1. Some nasty late bite to that pitch in. Now, Savino ahead.
What we've noticed, Harwich just not a very strikeout-reliant team this year. Savino's done a good job of getting strikeouts. However, a little bit of a revelation here as he really looks to have that momentum and to become a better strikeout pitcher, especially with 1 and 2 away.
Here comes the 1-1. Eblin swings and chops it slowly over to the second baseman in Rivera. On the first, it's a 4-3 putout, and there's 2 away here in the fourth. Savino rolling right along, Wyatt.
And right along that, you'd still take the ground outs as you can get them because Savino, the majority of his 65 pitches dealt here have just come from that first and second inning when he was just kind of giving away some free outs. The Mariners had what looked to be a put out for the second out of that first inning until Vastine had that double to center field. So it's been tough on him here today to not have the defense behind him completely, but the defense is also moving and picking it up.
First pitch now to Stanfield is going to miss low for a ball. Stanfield's grounded out to short and been hit by a pitch. Came around a score on a Jonathan Vastine home run in the second. 1-0 is going to be squirted back over towards the Bourne dugout. And so it'll be 1-1. Jared Soltolamakia perched right up on the fence there in the Bourne dugout. An assistant coach and former Red Sox, Texas Rangers, and I believe a couple other teams' catcher, sipping on an energy drink. How about it? 2 balls and a strike now. The pitch is going to miss low and make it a 3-1 count. Mariners trailing 4-0 here. 2 away. 3-1 pitch is going to be hit over towards the Bourne dugout once more. And so it'll be 3-2. Jonathan Vastine on deck. Bourne trying to keep this inning going with a little rally. Payoff is just low. Oh, man. That's a tough miss for Joe Savino. I mean, probably, to be fair, an inch or 2 below the strike zone black. Yeah. But still one you'd really like to have an account like that. And Steve Englert going to make his way out to the hill now. Not sure if he'll make a move, but we remember last time what happened. Almost identical as Shafreda and Eblin were retired quickly. And then Stanfield was hit by a pitch and Vastine homered. Steve probably wanting to talk something over as Vastine will dig back in. And we head into the heart of the order.
Yeah, it's a tough out to give away there. That should have been a borderline strike 3, if not for a ground ball to end the inning. And Vastine, certainly someone who can bring a lot of power, but just the contact that he induces as well. It's certainly not your weak ground ball contact that you may see towards the bottom of the order. And he certainly elevated that contact over the summer in addition to this past season at Vanderbilt and beyond.
Vastine's been a thorn for the Mariners. 6 total bases for him as there goes the runner and a good pitch to run on. A breaking ball that was in the dirt and the throw not even close as Stanfield was in there way before. But yeah, 6 total bases for Vastine. He's also scored twice. Home run and a double. 1-0. Is going to be ripped over to first base. Ethan Anderson knocks it down, takes it himself, and it'll be a 3-U put out to end the 4th inning. So Joe Savino gets out of the 4th without surrendering a run, keeping his team in it, but Bourne still on top, 4-0 from Doran Park. We'll step aside and be back. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Andrew Yu, Devin Hurdle, and Jacob Humphrey set to get things going here for Harwich in the 5th inning. Yu on the day has grounded out to second. Back out there is Fisher for his 5th inning of work. I believe this is his longest outing this season for the Bourne Braves, and he just continues to roll right along. Why stop him now, Wyatt?
Why stop him now? He's commanded the zone, gotten ground ball contact. And he's certainly looking like a pitcher who, at his finest in the American East, is well capable of playing with some of the best from the best conferences across college baseball.
It's a ball and a strike. Here's the next pitch to you, and it's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Andrew Yu checking in with his fourth hit of the season, and you know that's got to feel good for him. A slight fumble from Stanfield out in center, but he's able to recover and keep Yu at first. And yeah, it's been a tough go for Yu. Just his 4th hit and now 27 at-bats. He's hitting just 120 coming in today. So you got to know when he's able to barrel one up like that when his team really needs it. It's got to be a big weight off his shoulders.
And still maybe a little bit of only a blip on the scorecard. In his last outing, Fisher went 2 scoreless innings with a hit and 2 strikeouts. Just faced 7 batters as he tries to elevate here.
First pitch to Hurdle's cut on a miss. Hurdle reached on an error back in the 3rd inning. It was that wonderful play made by Vastine where the glove of Garrett Michelle failed him and unfortunately couldn't record the out on a ball that was whipped across the diamond at upwards of 90 miles per hour. Derek Bender pump fakes down to first and sends a sliding Andrew Yu back down. A little catcher-on-catcher love there.
Vastine certainly got some love. He was all the way extended on the ground. I was mesmerized by how quickly he got up.
1-1 is going to be foul tipped into the webbing, and it's going to be 1-2 now.
But that's the athleticism that Vastine brings, and it's what's demanded in the lineup at Vanderbilt up in Tennessee as well. Vastine is a great athlete, and he's played shortstop quite well this season.
Here comes the 1-2. Bounced way in the dirt. Nice stop that time by Bender to hold the runner and Yu down at first. And so we'll stay at 2-2.
It's like that torque, that twitching torque that Vastine has that makes him such an elite shortstop. He's playing relatively deep here against a right-handed hitter.
Fisher nods, and the pitch misses way outside. And so the count worked full now. Harwich with a chance to be in some business if Hurdle can make his way on either with a hit or a walk. In the top of the order in Jacob Humphrey up on deck coming next. Here's the payoff from Fisher, and it's going to be lifted into left center field, ranging over Shafreda, and he will make the catch for out number 1. Big fly ball and a great at-bat for Hurdle, but unfortunately is sent back to the dugout with his head down.
6 of the last 8 retired here on the account of Ryan Fisher, who's looked really good. And that was the first 3-ball count that he had dealt since back in the 3rd, where he dealt 2. And ever since, he's just been getting that mix of strikeout contact, but more so the fly ball contact. And the Mariners just need to keep taking those at-bats. It's going to be interesting to see how well they're disciplined versus how much they swing here, because they certainly need base runners, but they also want to draw some walks as well.
Jacob Humphrey on the day is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the 1st and walked in the 3rd. Hit would be huge for the Mariners, especially with the speedy Humphrey right behind you. That pitch in there for a strike to make it 0-2. Bender's really giving you a hard time down at first and keeps pump faking over there, looking to draw a throw. Fisher examines you and comes home. That one's bounced in the dirt, and so it'll now be a 1-2. Humphrey, a Maine native, UMass Lowell Riverhawk. It's been fantastic for them. Trying to make his presence now in this ball game as that one's dropped in there for strike 3 on the inside corner. And it's a 4-pitch strikeout. Number 6 now in the ball game.
Now batting, the second baseman
for Ryan Fisher, who's just been fantastic, Wyatt.
Yeah, it's the Harwich lineup that has been very prone to striking out this season. When you need to get runners moving with only 1 out, Humphrey just looking at a slider. And it's one of those defensive swings that you just have to take in order to stay alive in an at-bat and keep the inning going.
Rivera's turn. He's popped out to first and to center field. And yeah, Harwich has had the leadoff man on twice here tonight. And right after that, we've seen the pitcher been able to get him in order, as that one's going to be laced out to deep left field and right into the glove of Pete Shafreda. Once again, the Mariners go very quietly here in the 5th. Despite the leadoff single, they can't do anything with Andrew Yu, and the inning comes to a close. Halfway home here at Bourne Park, the Mariners trail this one 4-0. We'll be right back. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Night has ended for Joe Savino. He goes 4 complete innings, gives up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Not his best line, not his worst. The strikeouts were there, though. Wyatt had 6 of them, as called to the bullpen will be Colin Caldwell out of Georgia. The lefty, 5'11", 200 pounds. Junior out of Powder Springs, Georgia, and Harrison High School. Digs in, making his 3rd appearance for the Mariners. Has posted a 4.15 earned run average this season across his 4 1/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts to 6 walks, and a hit. Here comes the first pitch to Derek Bender, and Wyatt, we've been teasing the fact that we want to talk about Derek Bender's numbers this season because they are whopping thus far. Came in out of Coastal Carolina and has just really put on a clinic. Bender with an on-base percentage of .493 this season. That leads the Cape Cod Baseball League. Also leads the Cape Cod Baseball League in slugging and average at .667 and .404 respectively. His OPS 1.160. What a fantastic start it's been for him here as we're just over halfway home. 0-2 count as Caldwell comes set, and the pitch from the lefty is going to miss inside, 1-2.
And that success doesn't source from nowhere. I mean, Coastal Carolina getting 23 wins in the Sun Belt Conference, just in conference action, at a 40-plus win season. He had a team-high 83 RBIs, very capable of getting on base, even in the leadoff spot.
And this now his 16th start, so those numbers not just like, okay, he's been here for 4 games and they're really boosted. No, he has been here for 16 games, the majority of the season. 1-2. Foul off, and we'll stay at 1-2. Nice bat for Bender. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be low to make it 2-2. Bender on the day single come around to score in the first inning. He's also struck out swinging. 2-2 pitch. He is going to be chopped over to shortstop on a couple hops. Camarillo comes set across the diamond and in time for out number 1.
A little bit of news in the Harwich Mariners relief staff. Dylan Delvecchio, the left-hander out of Tarleton State, who's had some really solid outings this season, was actually credited with the win in the Mariners' convincing win at Falmouth at Gulf Furlow Field. He's set to go to St. Mary's College, the Gales baseball program, a team that had just won, I believe it was 23 games. Yeah, it was 23 games, 14 conference games this season.
0-1 now to the new batter and Kendall Diggs. And yes, congrats to Dylan Delvecchio, and a really stand-up guy. He's made the most appearances for the Mariners this season. No balls and 2 strikes now to Diggs, who's walked and popped out to third. Delvecchio, though, I believe he's appeared 6 or 7 times for the Mariners this season. 6, as that one's foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. Caldwell picks up his first strikeout, and there's quickly 2 away.
And this is what's going to be key for Caldwell. Can he get the quick outs? He's very strikeout reliant. Has 6 walks aside from 7 strikeouts through 4 1/3 innings this season, but at Georgia had 27 strikeouts in 23 games. He can be very efficient at any point.
First pitch now to Garrett Michelle is going to be in there for a strike at the knees, 0-1. Michelle Day has struck out, swing, and walked. Michelle now up to a league lead 31 punch-outs as that one runs up and in to make it 1-1. Caldwell's last outing went 2 1/3 innings as that one's fought off foul. 59 pitches, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, but where he got into trouble was the walks. Walked 5 people back in Brewster, or rather Hyannis, as it's going to be a 2-2 count now as that one just outside to Michelle. Georgia product looking for a 1-2-3-5. Here's the pitch. Bounced in the dirt, 3-2. Don't want to lose Michelle here and have to dive into Kuroda Grauer. Already had a clutch single back in inning number 1. See you waits on deck. Payoff pitch coming from Caldwell. And it's in there. Strike 3. Ring him up, Jeff Kinney. Nice inning for Colin Caldwell out of the bullpen. Gets a ground out and a pair of strikeouts. 1 swinging, 1 looking. We're through 5 here at Doran Park. Score has not changed since inning number 2. 4-0 Braves. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the other side of the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Now batting, the first baseman from the University of Virginia, number 38, Ethan Anderson.
It'll be Ethan Anderson to start things off here for the Mariners in the top of the 6th, followed by Kennedy Jones and Casey Sauke. Harwich has been held to just 2 hits by the man in Ryan Fisher, who's back out there for his 6th inning of work. He's been sensational thus far for the Bourne Braves. It's ball and a strike now to the Virginia product as Anderson lifts this one out into shallow left field. Long run in for Shafreda, but he's under it and puts it away. Out number 1 here in the 6th.
Fisher has had a lot of different grooves with his rhythm here tonight, how he's able to minimize his pitch count, if not get ahead in them. And he's dealt a lot of first pitch outs as well. Anderson with a pitch there as he took him to 2 pitches. But we'll see how the Mariners can maybe try to work some deeper at bats here. They certainly need hits, as you mentioned, only with 2.
It'll be Kennedy Jones's turn now as pitches dropped in there for a strike to make it 0-1. Casey Sauke on deck. Next pitch to Jones is fouled off to the right, and it escapes out of play to make it 0-2. Jones on the day struck out swinging and singled. Trying to get his numbers up as well as he's hitting just 209 out of that cleanup spot. 0-2 is, Bender wanted it. He got up to rip it down to third and looked to be just a touch low. So it'll be a 1-2 count. The pitch bounced in the dirt. Make it 2-2. Harwich, as we mentioned, has been held to just 2 hits. They've also reached on an error, but not too many walks issued from the pitcher in Fisher. Hit batsman was Camarillo and has not been more than 1 base on balls as down goes Kennedy Jones by way of the K. Strikeout number 7 for Ryan Fisher. He's been fantastic. And there's 2 away quickly here in inning number 6.
And 5 of those strikeouts have arrived from the first 5 in the order here. Casey Sauke trying not to strike out for the 2nd time here tonight, but the Mariners now with 5 straight retired against the right-hander of NJIT, who has looked really in control from first pitch to here.
First pitch made my laptop stand up as it hit the netting right down here on the first baseline, and foul ball from Sauke that time kind of rattled us a little bit.
I didn't blink.
You didn't blink?
No, I'm sorry.
I had a little blink. Moved my computer, so I was like, what's going on here? It's ball and a strike now. Camarillo on deck for Harwich. They need to get something working quickly as we head into these late innings. 1-1 in there for a strike. And, I mean, Fisher still out here in inning number 6, and he's painting corners. That pitch right at the bottom corner of the zone, almost unhittable. Sauke trying to rattle his cage. Here comes the 1-2, and it's going to be lifted out into right field. Long run over for Diggs. Will he get there in time? Yes. I couldn't see it, but the crowd's ovation leads me to believe he's got it, and he does. A web jab down on the right field line in foul territory, and so that is how the inning will end. A 1-2-3-6 for Ryan Fisher. What an outing for him. We head now into the home half of the 6th. Bourne looking to give him a little more support on offense. 4-0 Braves here from Dorn Park. We'll be right back in a flash. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Kuroda, Grauer, Foster, and then Shafreda due up for the Bourne Braves as it's going to be an 0-1 count. Caldwell back out there for his second inning of work after a very efficient fifth inning in which he sent down the Braves 1-2-3 in the heart of the order. Nice pitch that time from you. A check swing, the appeal no, so says Arturo Beaumonte. And so it'll be ball and a strike now. Georgia product first appeared for the Mariners back on June 28th against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, was credited with the loss after going just 2 innings, 40 pitches in those 2 innings. Gave up no hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts and a walk. Not a bad outing at all, but unfortunately just a little bit less than enough. As this one's lifted out into center field, Humphrey under it, and he'll put it away for out number 1 here in the Bourne half of the 6th.
Caldwell, he was convincing back in that 5th inning, and he has a chance to go in order here in the 6th. He had 2 strikeouts. I mean, slider, fastball have been working well for him, but staying ahead in the counts will be key for him. And for Casey Saki, meanwhile, the foul out to right field, it's not a discredit to him, more of a credit to the right fielder in Diggs. Has a serious amount of athleticism on the sliding catch.
1-0 count now to the batter and Cam Foster. Foster struck out swinging twice, once in the 3rd, once in the 1st. 1-0 count now from Caldwell as he rocks and delivers. Swing and a miss. Count is even at 1. Foster, the designated hitter tonight for the Bourne Braves, comes into the ball game tonight hitting .277 out of Liberty, a flame. Foster, 6'5", 225 pounds. Fouls off the next pitch to make it a 1-2 count. Caldwell right back to it. The pitch misses outside, and it's 2-2.
Just going back to Ryan Fisher for a moment. Certainly what he's done here tonight, getting the Mariners to 7 strikeouts. Not a revelation, not even really a first-time instance. He had 6 2 days ago.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Down he goes. Caldwell picks up his 3rd strikeout in just 5 batters he's faced. He's been dialed in here early on in his start, keeping his team in it, giving them a chance. And there's quickly 2 away here in the 6th.
That's a pitch that Caldwell certainly will look to go back to. He's really dominated on the outer corners of that slider.
Now it'll be Pete Shufreda who's up. He's grounded out to both the pitcher and the shortstop here. Heading the count 1-0. Shufreda on the season hitting .279 out of Rutgers. A Scarlet Knight, teammate of former Mariner Drew Conover, who pitched for the Scarlet Knights, was one of the best relievers in Harwich last season, had an ERA hovering right around 1. He was sensational, an all-star as well, and it's the funniest guy on the team. 2-0. Is going to miss inside to make it a 3-0 count. And so Caldwell, who seemed to be in cruise control, 5 up, 5 down to start his outing, now in some trouble. Behind in the count 3-0. Dials in a strike on the outside corner to make it 3-1 now. And the next pitch is going to be in there for a strike to load up the count full at 3-2. So Caldwell trying to battle his way back here. Here comes the payoff. And it's going to be in there. Strike 3. Down he goes. How about Colin Caldwell coming into this ball game 6 up, 6 down with 4 strikeouts? Doesn't he look good? We'll take a quick break and be back here for the late and final third here at Doran Park. Mariners desperately in need of some offense. To the 7th we go. 4-0 Braves. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Driscoll.
Ryan Fisher's night is over, and thank God if you're a Harwich Mariners fan, as he saw Josh Bostic's outing last night and said, hold my beer, I can do better. 6 complete innings pitched, a pair of hits, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He was fantastic and is lined up for the win. Gabe Driscoll out of Binghamton into the ball game as I hand play-by-play duties. Back over to my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman, for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Wyatt.
All right, Devin, the Mariners trailing 4-0 here with a new pitcher on the mound in Gabe Driscoll, a right-hander out of Binghamton of the America East. He winds and deals the first pitch, and it's skied out towards center field. Moving to his left, Stanfield, slowly moving, and he makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here to Camarillos. He falls to 0 for 2 here on the day. A little bit new information on Gabe Driscoll, the Toms River, New Jersey native. Had a 4.98 ERA with a team-best 7-1 mark in 15 starts at Binghamton this past season. And he had 77 2/3 innings pitched with a 3.67 strikeout to walk ratio this past year. First pitch to Lorenzo Carrier, a breaking ball, misses low for ball number 1. Just underway here in the top of the 7th from Doran Park. The Mariners on the road trailing 4-0 against the Braves. As the 1-0 sails low, it goes to 2-0 here to the power hitter Lorenzo Carrier out of Miami. Slanted stance here for Driscoll. The Binghamton product deals. 2-0, bang to the right side foul. As it goes to 2-1 here to Carrier. 0 for 2 here today. The Mariners lineup has been relatively quiet. 2 hits, 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. The 2-1 offering. Slider bounced over towards the right side, backing up at second. Crota Grauer as he lets it get into center field. He boots it at the lip of the outfield grass, and what's the second Bourne error on the night, and the Mariners have a 1-out base runner in Carrier.
Yeah, and you'll take that any way you can get him. You get a funky bounce off the lip, just your 3rd hit of the ball game, and it's got to feel good if you're Carrier. Another fog out as the Chatham Anglers fogged out against the Cotuit Kettleers. I mean, it's got to be a tough time to play there with the weather changing temperature as much as it does. I mean, the fog just completely moves in.
First offering to Andrew Yu is served into center field, and it's down for a base hit. Carrier will stop at second, and the Mariners have traffic on the base pass as Carrier gets into second, and Yu is on first. And there are 2 on with 1 away for Devin Hurdle.
Yeah, multi-hit game for Andrew Yu. That's his first of the season, and got to feel good for him. He's really put together a nice little ball game here tonight, despite his team not being very successful. Has 2 of their 4 hits and continues to roll along. This game far from over here. Harwich still 8 outs to work with to put up those 4 runs, and now 2 on for Devin Hurdle, who's a very sneaky 9-hole hitter.
So Driscoll in his first inning of relief here in the 7th, immediately out of the stretch. First pitch, bounce foul behind home plate. And I say immediately, given that his predecessor and the starter Ryan Fisher out of NJIT of the America East as well had a 1-2-3 inning back in the 1st and the 6th. Just gave up 2 hits, his final line with no earned runs, 7 strikeouts and 1 walk through 6 shutout innings. Here's the 0-1 deal. Fastball swung on a miss as it goes to 0-2 here to the Nebraska Omaha infielder in Hurdle. He reached on an E6 back in the 3rd and flew out to left field back in the 5th as he has runners on 1st and 2nd to work with here. The 0-2. Slap to the right side into foul territory, running over from first, Michelle, and he'll run out of room as it goes over the fence. It's a wide sense of room between the 1st and 3rd base lines and the fence here. A lot of coverage opportunities here for the corner infielders as well as the corner outfielders. Carrier on 2nd, Yu on 1st. The Mariners trail 4-0, 4 hits apiece here for Harwich and Bourne. 1 away in the top of the 7th. The 0-2 from Driscoll. Slider swung on and missed as Hurdle goes down on strikes for the first time here tonight. And it's the first strikeout for the right-hander Driscoll out of Binghamton.
Yeah, really nasty pitch low and away there. Gets him to swing at the pitch that bounced in the dirt. And fortunately, a big opportunity missed for Hurdle that time with 2 on. One of the best scoring chances that Harwich had all night after being retired in order. Just once tonight, but they've gone down with just 4 hitters 3 times.
First pitch to Humphrey, lofted out towards right center field. Moving in from right field, Diggs. He camps under and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Well, Humphrey gave it some lift, but nonetheless, the Mariners scored no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and leave 2 on. Mariners trail 4-0 going into the home half of the 7th. Time to stretch here at Doran Park in what's turned into a gorgeous evening with wispy clouds across the sky and a beautiful turnout as well. A 4-0 deficit for Harwich here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Bourne 4, Harwich nothing here into the bottom of the 7th. Colin Caldwell, the left-handed reliever out of Georgia, back on for his 3rd inning of relief here. He's gotten a pair of 1, 2, 3 jobs in the 5th and the 6th. Wyatt Coltman, Devin Dobeck here with you as Bryce Eblin steps in and watches the slider low and away just above the shoe tops for ball number 1. We'll take you to a look around the Cape Cod Baseball League, 100th year of Cape Cod Baseball, and it has been an action-packed night here on a Saturday night. 1-0, a healthy hack and a miss high as it goes to 1-1. As Eblin is 0 for 2 here tonight, looking to reach for the first time. Meanwhile, the Wareham Gatemen trailing the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox in interdivision action from Red Wilson Field. 8-2, the Red Sox lead the Gatemen in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 deal. That's a slider. It's swung on and missed. Caldwell getting ahead in counts quite often here tonight. The Brewster Whitecaps trail the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th from McKean Park in Hyannis. The Orleans Firebirds behind the Falmouth Commodores 3-1 in the top of the 5th out in Eldridge Park. 1-2. Loop to the left side, foul. And we'll do it again. And the Katuitt Kettleers and the Chatham Anglers have been postponed due to a fog-induced condition out at Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts.
What else is new, right?
What else is new? Chatham is a haven of fog this year. 1-2, smash back behind home plate, foul and a slider. Well, Devin, the Mariners have gotten 4 hits tonight, but have not really been able to convert with much. They have had the opportunities to get base runners on. They had 2 in the 7th on a pair of hits. But right now, Harwich has still been stuck looking for answers. Caldwell is set, the 1-2. Lofted back behind home plate. We'll do it again. And this is a great at-bat again here from Bryce Eblin, the 3rd baseman out of Alabama. He might be 0 for 2 tonight, but he's putting some deep counts at the bat here.
Yeah, and he continues to fight. That's all you can ask for. If you're not going to get on base, find a way to get a quality at bat. 6 pitches or more.
1-2, line to the right side, and it just trails foul. Yeah, 6 at-bats. You certainly look for that continuity in the bottom of the lineup, even if it doesn't have that production. Makes it a lot harder on someone like Caldwell, who has been trying to get his lineup back to the plate here as the Mariners are beginning to run out of chances late. None gone in the bottom of the 7th from Doran Park in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. The Mariners trailing the Braves 4-0, 4 hits for each side. 2-strike pitch. Slice foul to the left side as the at-bat continues past 5 pitches here in the at-bat, and it's arguably the toughest for Colin Caldwell out of Georgia. Caldwell trying for his 5th strikeout here. He's set with the slanted stance, and he deals the 1-2, and it bounces in front of the plate as it goes to 2-2. Eblin, the junior of Greenwood, Indiana, was 0 for 5 in the loss to Yarmouth Dennis last night. A 4-3 heartbreaker here for the Bourne Braves. At 12-10 in second place in a very strong Cape Cod West division. Katuitt above them at 16-7. The Mariners have beaten them twice. The 2-2. Slider shot down the right side, but it goes well foul. Just timed it up a little bit early, I'd say. as a 2-strike pitch stays alive.
You got to be thrilled with what you're seeing out of Evelyn right now. I mean, just continuing to battle now, a 2-2 count, and the guy who's 0 for 2 on the day really making Caldwell work. He's been in a rhythm thus far, 6 up, 6 down.
The 2-2 again. Fastball goes low in the dirt. It's 3-2 here. Nobody on here for the Braves, who lead the Mariners 4-0 on 4 hits. They have committed an error, but they got 4 runs in the first and the second. Payoff pitch. Lofted high and deep out towards left field, slicing to the fence. Humphrey all the way back to the track. He makes the catch on the run. The UMass Lowell product, leaving no room for mistakes that time, as the Mariners get 1 out on the board here in the bottom of the 7th.
And what an at-bat for Eblin, regardless of the fact that he got out, to be able to work it that hard and then barrel a ball up all the way into left center. That was a long run for Humphrey. Humphrey probably would have been an extra base hit if he didn't have the speed that he was gifted with. And big out there for the Mariners.
Now the first offering to Stanfield, bounce over towards the left side, Hurdle moving to his left, takes a few steps, fires onto first, and it's in time. So allowed out number 1 and acquire out number 2 here, as Stanfield, tonight's leadoff hitter, falls to 1 for 2 here, as the Mariners have quickly 2 away. In the 7th, they trail 4-0 against the Braves. The athleticism on the left side of the infield has been on full display here tonight. Ali Camadillo has been excellent to the outfield grass. That time, Hurdle on the inner edge of the dirt, not wasting any time. So 2 away here for Jonathan Vastine, the red-hot 2-hole hitter here out of Vanderbilt, as he watches it low and outside for ball number 1. Vastine with a double to center field back in the first and a 2-run shot in the second to get the first 2 runs. 1-0 foul to the left side. 1-1 the count here to the Bartow, Florida native. Mariners trailed 4-0 after the opening 2 innings, and they've trailed since. 1-1. Swung on and missed. It goes to 1-2. That time a high changeup to Vastine right at the letters. Meanwhile, Vastine at Vanderbilt, exceptional this past season. 1-2. Half swing, lined over towards the left side. Camarillo sprinting in. He fires onto first. Dug up out of the dirt in time. An excellent connection between Camarillo and Ethan Anderson, as the Texas A&M and Virginia products time it up just in time. And it's a 1-2-3 job here for Colin Caldwell, as he has retired all 9 that he has faced here in relief behind the start of Joe Savino of Virginia. Mariners trail 4-0 going into the top of the 8th. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Now batting.
Mariners trail the Bourne Braves 4-0 here at Doran Park in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, as they have 2 more chances to get on the board here. Daniel Rivera due up here for the Mariners. Mariners have trailed 4-0 since the 2 scored in the first and the second. A 2-run single in the first and a 2-run home run from Jonathan Vastine in the second. The first pitch from Gabe Driscoll, a fastball high at the letters for ball number 1 here to Rivera. Mariners have faced a Bourne team with a top 3 ERA tonight. 1-0, a slider fitted on the upper half as it goes to 1-1. It has been tough goings here for this Mariners lineup. 8 strikeouts combined. 1-1, a slider looped back behind home plate. It goes to 1-2. Mariners last night getting back in the win column, winning their first in 5 games to snap a 4-game losing streak. They took a 5-0 lead in the 4th inning and never looked back. 1-2. Slider half swing out towards right field. It's dropping quickly, and Diggs moves to his left, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Not the loudest out here in Buzzards Bay tonight, as Rivera falls to 0 for 4 today.
Yeah, it's just been that kind of night. I mean, Harwich can't really seem to get much going. They've stranded a total of 7 runners on base, and when you only have 4 hits, I mean, there's not too much you can do on offense, especially after the early hot start by Bourne, scoring 4 in the first 2 innings.
First pitch to Ethan Anderson. Foul tips back behind home plate for strike number 1. 0 for 3 here today. Virginia Beach, Virginia native. Looking for a hit here as the Mariners trail 4-0 against the Bourne Braves with 1 down in the 8th. The pitch, skied out towards center field, moving back Stanfield, and he makes the catch. Well, Anderson gave it a good drive, but Stanfield was prepared, leading the outfield here tonight as Anderson, with his 3rd fly on that, he's 0 for 4.
Yeah, and Anderson barreled that one up, too. I thought it was going to be way over Stanfield's head, but he just casually takes a few steps back to his left, and it's an easy put out. I mean, Harwich just can't buy one right now.
So that sets up Kennedy Jones, the left fielder, with nobody on and 2 down here in the top of the 8th. As the 20th-year head coach for Harwich and Steve Engler now has a couple of words with Jones. Have to imagine here on the approach, just to give the Mariners some sort of life with only 4 outs to spare. They still have 3 in the 9th, but they trail 4-0 with 4 hits for either side. Bourne getting ahead with that 2-run single in the first. It was from Joshua Schroeder-Grauer out of Rutgers, and the 2-run home run to left field for Jonathan Vastine, his first on the season, making it 4-0. First pitch to Jones, bounced over towards the right side at the second baseman in Schroeder-Grauer as he fires on to first, and it's a 1-2-3 job here for Gabe Driscoll in his 2nd inning of relief. He faced 4 back in the 7th, and here he faces the minimum with a line out, a flyout, and a ground out. The Mariners get none across as they have 3 chances, but not before the Bourne Braves bring up an opportunity for extra insurance in the 8th. A 4-0 deficit for Harwich moving into the bottom of the 8th here from Dorn Park. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Number 44, Derek Bender.
Mariners trail 4-0 against the Bourne Braves here at Dorn Park. Dorn hosting the Braves at 8-3 on the season here on their home turf. Meanwhile, new pitcher in the game out of Central Connecticut State, Jake Newman. He deals the first pitch, foul back into the screen. First strike, number 1, Derek Bender, Kendall Diggs, and Garrett Michelle due up here, the 3, 4, 5 hitters. To tell you more about Jake Newman, the returning Harwich Mariners pitcher. He pitched in 2 games last season, 3 2/3 innings total. 0-1. Misses outside. Has that kind of slow wind on the 3/4 arm slot. Not exactly a sign winder, Devin, but at Central Connecticut State this year, 6-3 with a 5.4 ERA. We'll see what he's capable of here. 1-1. Shot back towards the netting again. It goes to 1-2. Just underway in the bottom of the 8th. The Mariners went down in order, as did the Braves in their last time up. But just to consider, 9 up and 9 down for the first reliever for Harwich and Colin Caldwell. Masterful as the 1-2 takes a bounce on home plate. And it goes to 2-2. 9 up and 9 down, 4 strikeouts, and Caldwell looked in complete control.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And those 4 strikeouts, you just had everything working for him. This is the Colin Caldwell that everybody thought was coming to Harwich, and finally he's landed and he's here to stay.
2-2 floats outside here to Bender, the catcher out of Coastal Carolina, one of the Chanticleer's most invaluable hitters this season. Here's the payoff pitch. Slider shot out towards left center field, racing back to the track. Humphrey, and he can't make the catch as it goes over his head and in front of the fence. That will send Bender into second as he has a stand-up leadoff double, and it's the 5th hit on the night here for the Bourne Braves.
That was a shot. That was about as far as you could hit it without it going out here at Doran Park. I mean, a blast. Humphrey, the fastest guy on the team, couldn't track that one down, and he was hauling.
Number 8, Kendall Diggs.
Blast by Bender, and yeah, Newman got in that 3-2 count and just didn't want to give the free base, so it got barreled up and a blast.
So that forces Newman to work out of the stretch here. Bender, his 2nd hit on the day after a single, a shortstop back in the 1st, as that draws in Kendall Diggs, the cleanup hitter. Look back at second, the first offering, and it misses low. Now a throw down to third, and it's not going to be in time. A stolen base here for Derek Bender as he picks up his 10th on the season for what's been a speedy Bourne team through the first half of the season, as they're now runner in third here, still with none gone.
There's not much he can't do. He really shows that on all angles, on the base paths, in the batter's box, behind the plate. I mean, really just an all-around player, and, I mean, his stock has got to have shot up since the Cape.
1-0, a slider missing low and away. Good block this time by you as it's 2-0. And Devin, I couldn't help but notice your polo, and it kind of represents that Coastal Carolina blue in a sense. You're not far off.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could call me a fan. I guess that's why I wore it, you know.
I'm not saying you're a fan, but just, matter of coincidence here. The pitch outside, and it's a strike nonetheless on a slider. Just at the belt here to Diggs. He's ahead in the count 2-1 here against the second reliever, Southpaw, and Jake Newman out of Central Connecticut State. Runner on third, none away. The pitch, a swing and a miss. A little bit out in front of it that time on the breaking balls. It's 2-2. Diggs on the night, 0 for 2 after a one-out walk back in the first, as the Mariners trail 4-0 against the Braves here on the road in Doran Park. The 2-2 deal. Slider just goes outside to the left-handed hitter in Diggs as that draws the count full. The Mariners had fallen behind 4-0 on a 2-run single and a 2-run home run from Jonathan Vastine after the 2 innings, and that's how they trailed. Payoff pitch. Foul tipped just off home plate. We'll do it again.
That one got a piece of you. He's slow to his feet. Gonna need a minute to walk it off, but he appears to be okay, and yeah, just got him on that foul tip.
Newman, the rising sophomore at Central Connecticut State, the southpaw pitching in 3 seasons for the Blue Devils of the Northeastern Conference. He started in all 14 games this past season. He's very extensive, Devin. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we could see him on some longer term. Still none away in the bottom of the 8th. Not a ton of room to work with here in terms of innings, but we'll see. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, a drop third strike. Yu looks back at third and fires down to first as he won't get a double play on the strikeout, as the first strikeout comes around here for Jake Newman, and there's just 1 down in the 8th.
Great job by you to knock that down. That was ball 4 by a mile. That one might have hit the plate. It was so low, and Newman will take it, was able to fool the hitter in Diggs, who probably thought a fastball was coming, and got him fishing.
7th strikeout in 5 games for Diggs. First pitch, a strike here to Garrett Michelle, the first baseman out of Virginia Tech. Bender on third with the Mariners behind 4-0. Bourne up to bat here. 0-1, a fastball zipping high above the letters. It goes to 1-1. Leadoff double to center field here for Derek Bender. He's 2 for 4 on the day. Stole third against the southpaw Newman. 1-1 deal. Tapped back behind home plate. Goes to 1-2. Mariners have faced a very good Bourne hitting team here tonight. As we mentioned earlier, with 107 RBIs, second most in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Very keen in the walks as well with 107. 1-2.
Ooh.
Slider just floats off the lower inside corner as it's 2-2.
That one was right there. Maybe just not a great frame by you on that pitch. It dropped right in the lower part of the strike zone, or at least it appeared that way from here. Tough call. It could have gone either way.
Runner on third, 1 away. The 2-strike pitch. Slider goes low and away behind you. That will send Bender into home as he took advantage of the pass ball. 5-0 Bourne as Andrew Yu lost control behind home plate. And Bender, after a leadoff double to center, has the Braves in a bigger advantage here.
I mean, what a job by Bender to be able to come in and score. He just saw that one squeak through you. I bet you at least the majority of the league is not picking up that reading coming in. He's been fantastic, and another example of it there.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider had Michelle swinging as he strikes out for the third time here tonight. And it's the second strikeout here in the 8th as Newman looks to strike out the side.
Again, ball 4. A pitch down in the zone, worse than some of the others we saw in the at-bat. He must just be changing up his sequence and hitters just sitting on the wrong pitches because he's really dealt 2 walks that have been swinging strikeouts.
Newman looking sharp here. First pitch, bounced over towards the right side from Crota Grauer. On to second. Rivera at the lip of the outfield grass. He zips it on, and it's just in time into the glove of Ethan Anderson at first. So a double to center field from Derek Bender. He comes across to score on the pass ball. 2 strikeouts from Newman and a ground out as he's out of the 8th without more than 1 inning of damage in his season debut out of Central Connecticut State. The Mariners trail 5-0 with their last licks coming in the 9th inning here from Doran Park. A 5-0 lead for Bourne. And we're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mariners trail the Bourne Braves 5-0 on the road here in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts on a breezy night at Doran Park. Wyatt Copeland and Devin Dobeck here with you as Harwich comes to bat for its last licks. Casey Sauki, Alik Amarillo, and Lorenzo Carrier, the 5, 6, and 7-hole hitters due up. No hits from these 3 hitters combined. The first pitch, slider high from the Binghamton product in Gabe Driscoll, the only reliever out of the bullpen here tonight for a Bourne team at 12-10-1 on the season. The pitch, shot back behind home plate, and it goes to 1-1. Mariners had numerous members of the lineup enter tonight on an on-base streak, but the Mariners with just 4 hits here tonight. 1-1, a swing and a miss at the letters, and it's 1-2. Mason Guerra not in the lineup here tonight. He entered with a team-high 9-game hitting streak. Jacob Humphrey, meanwhile, extending his on-base streak to 9 games. 2-strike pitch. Slider belts it to the right side, and it goes out of play. We'll do it again.
Took the words right out of my mouth there, Wyatt.
Which lucky fan got it this time? I heard a chorus of applause.
I don't know, but I saw A lot of bodies moving over there.
1-2 shot into left field, and it splits the outfielders as it's all the way back to the fence. Sauke passed first, and he's chugging off for second, and he will coast with a leadoff double. The Virginia product in Casey Sauke this first hit on the night, and it's a loud one all the way back to the wall for a double.
Big swing that time from Sauke. I mean, he laid into that pitch and just put it right out in the gap there. Nice way to start off the inning. And, hey, Harwich now has 5 hits. That matches the Bourne total. And little life for Harwich. You like to see this fight out of them, especially in a game that's really picked up its pace, and Bourne is controlled the whole way.
We've discussed this a couple of times, but Sauke with one of the sweetest swings, that inside-outside swing. First pitch on the way to Ali Camarillo, breaking ball, missing low and inside for ball number 1, and he certainly took full advantage of it off of Gabe Driscoll out of Binghamton that time.
And I could be wrong, but I think that's the first ball we've seen him pull wide. All his hits have been opposite field.
1-0. Grounded over towards the left side, bouncing ball for Vastine at the lip of the outfield grass, zips across the diamond to first, and it's in time. Sauke stays put at second, and the Mariners are down to their final 2 outs with Lorenzo Carrier stepping up.
And I'll tell you, Vastine makes it look so easy over there. He takes his time collecting and gathering himself, and then fires an absolute bullet across every time, and it's been on target every time. Really been impressed with his defense here.
Carrier out of Miami, the first pitch, he taps it up into the infield, and it's going to be a foul ball. The catcher in Bender had gotten out of the catcher's stance to back up Driscoll off the mound. 0-1 here to the Bear Delaware native in Carrier. Reached on an infield hit, and that was the second base back in the 7th after starting off 0 for 2 here tonight. To go back to what you were saying on Vastine, though, longtime head coach Tim Corbin at Vanderbilt saying he's one of the best pure athletes on our team, and he has certainly put that on display here tonight. 0-1, slider, shot all the way deep into left center field, both running back at the wall. They look up, and that ball is out of here. A 2-run shot for Lorenzo Carrier as he leaves the yard yet again here on the season. And the Bear Delaware product says that they're not done yet. A 5-2 deficit here for the Harwich Mariners as Carrier left no doubt about it.
And he took a second to admire that swing. How about Carrier checking in with a big blast out to deep left center field, and that's got to feel good, a multi-hit game for him, and maybe that'll be the first of something for him to get going. 3 home runs for him on the season. 11th for the Mariners as a team.
Harwich got a 2-run home run out of Jacob Humphrey last night, and that completely silenced Doran Park here, despite the Mariners being down to their final 2 outs. Sauke with a leadoff double to center. He comes across the score on the 2-run blast from Carrier. Had a serious deal of exit velocity just by the first look. First pitch high to Andrew Yu here, the Duke catcher. Up here again tonight for the 4th time. 2 base hits to center field. 5-2, the Mariners trail. A 1-0, a fastball clip in the outer half as it goes to 1-1 here to the Nashville native.
And one angle we got to experience that one from. We're sitting like right on line with where that ball took off. Beautiful night too, so it looked so cool as it was taken off.
1-1, a slider floated to the right side, just above the Mariners' dugout. Just about everybody with a Navy jersey standing at the edge of the dugout. Mariners not done yet here with 1 away. The 2-strike pitch. Served towards the right side, moving over to his left. Michelle, the first baseman, onto the Mariners' railing, and he makes the catch in front of the dugout for the 2nd out here in the 9th. Mariners down to their final chance as Yu falls to 2 for 4.
Yeah, 4 of those 6 hits in the ballgame have come from Carrier and Yu. They've been fantastic in the bottom third of the order, and unfortunately, if everybody else had it clicking like they did the last few nights on offense, this is almost a surefire win for Harwich with the pitching performance they've gotten.
First pitch to Hurdle, skied out towards the left side of the infield. A high pop-up for Vastine. He makes the catch as the Mariners fall 5-2 here at Doran Park. A late rally to get on the board on a 2-run bomb from Lorenzo Carrier to left center field. Not enough as the Mariners were unable to put together a 1-out rally. A ball game that lasted 2 hours and 4 minutes in front of a near-capacity crowd here in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, as Harwich drops to 12-12 on the season despite taking a win for the first game in 5 tries last night. Mariners fall 5-2. We step away for a brief moment and come back at you here with the Harwich Mariners post-game show on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, where the Mariners fall 5-2 in interdivision competition here tonight. The Mariners now 12-12 on the season, losing 5-2. The Mariners with 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors. And Bourne scoring 5 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. Wyatt Copeland and Devin Dobek here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And Devin, you said it perfectly before we stepped aside to take a quick break as the final pitch is done for here. Ryan Fisher picks up the win. 6 innings, shutout out of NJIT of the America East Conference. Meanwhile, Joe Savino picking up his 2nd loss in the season. He drops to 2-2. You said it perfectly, how the Mariners just didn't have enough balance out of the lineup. Carrier coming alive with a 2-run bomb late. But the Mariners just certainly needed a lot more to keep pace with a hot-hitting Bourne team.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate. And the offense has been there for them the last 2 nights. I mean, they put up 5 against Orleans in a shutout win yesterday. They put up 6 the game before. And, I mean, they've been there. We know that they're capable of it. They just got to put it all together. They're a team still trying to find their identity. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is a team that once they're able to figure that out, they're going to be really scary come postseason time because the pitching's starting to really fire on all cylinders. And if the bats can get going, no one's going to want to play the Harwich Mariners. And this is a perfect example of one of those games. You got 4 hits from the bottom third of your order and 6 total. Once you get those really hot guys, and Ethan Anderson, Kennedy Jones, Casey Sauke going, it is going to be not fun to play the Harwich Mariners.
Mariners having some newcomers. They had some standout performances in the lineup, aside from Jacob Humphrey with a walk, despite him being 0 for 2 here today. Ethan Anderson and Casey Sauke, a quiet night aside from a leadoff double in the 9th inning from Sauke out of Virginia. Carrier with a 2-out home run for the Mariners. Only 2 runs here on the night, but Devin, the Mariners certainly had their chances. They left 2 stranded in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
It was a 1-out base hit from Lorenzo Carrier and then a 1-out hit from Andrew Yu. It certainly looked like they were threatening, but it was a shutout performance from Gabe Driscoll. He did not get the save. He got 3 innings with 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout and 5 hits. He was magnificent behind 6 shutout innings from Fisher, who certainly just had another edge above the Mariners lineup tonight.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, put together a fantastic performance, one of the best this season in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 6 full innings, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts to just the 1 walk. Not much more you can ask for from your starter, but if you're Harwich, you had 2 opportunities to put runs on the scoreboard in one of these low-scoring games. You had 1st and 2nd with 1 away in the 3rd, and you had 1st and 2nd with 1 away in the 7th. And both times you were unable to even get the runners into the home plate. And unfortunately, when you can't do that, you can't win ball games. And that was the difference here tonight when you lose a game 5-2. I mean, some tough pitching. And, of course, Savino was a little shaky in his start, but once he settled in, gave you a chance to win, and you didn't take it.
Fisher picks up the win, Savino with the loss, and Driscoll, as a matter of fact, picks up the save, given that he threw 3 innings, and it became a 3-run ball game with a 2-run home run from Lorenzo Carrier, the Bear Delaware native of Miami of the Atlantic Coast Conference, getting his 3rd blast on the season. A ball game that lasted 2 hours and 3 minutes in front of a crowd of 1,900 people. Well, the Mariners will be back tomorrow at White House Field to take on the Chatham Anglers. 5-2 loss here for Harwich as the Mariners lose with 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors committed, 5 runs on 5 hits, 1 error, moving the Bourne Braves to 13-10-1 on the season. Katuitt at 16-7 entering tonight. Bourne certainly looks to be creeping up there. Meanwhile, Harwich has a little bit of work to do to challenge Jarmuth Dennis entering tonight at 13-8-1.
Yep, and the Red Sox are going to be the Red Sox. They're always at the top of the standings, it seems like, in the East Division, and they keep continuing to boost their lead. Harwich has got to find a way to put a few wins together. I mean, since they've been 9-4, they're now 3-8 in their last 11 games. I mean, that's not a clip that a second-place team should have, and until they figure that out and figure out how to win ball games, it's going to be tough to retain in that postseason spot. Big game against Chatham tomorrow. They're in the basement of the Cape Cod Baseball League. They just have 6 wins, but 2 of them have come against the Harwich Mariners. So really got to find a way to figure things out at home tomorrow night.
2 will also have been routes as well. The Mariners, one of them falling 8-1, and the Mariners have not been able to put together enough momentum out of the bullpen on the road this season, but of being at home tomorrow night. The Mariners falling 5-2 here, 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors for Harwich, 5 runs and 5 hits, 1 error here for Bourne. Ryan Fisher picks up the win. Gabe Driscoll with the save. 2-2 on the season here for Harwich in a ball game that lasted 2 hours and 4 minutes here from Doran Park. The final line on Jake Newman as he made his debut out of Central Connecticut State, the returning Harwich Mariners pitcher. He went 1 inning in the 8th. He gave up 1 earned run after allowing a leadoff double from Derek Bender, the catcher out of Coastal Carolina. That was the only hit on his card here tonight. 2 strikeouts and no walks for the left-hander out of Connecticut. Well, the Mariners now 1-1 in their last 2 games after getting back in the win column last night to end a 4-game losing streak. They are now 12-12 on the season and remain 3 games behind Yarmouth Dennis for first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. Mariners and Anglers go at it for a 4th time tomorrow night. Harwich hosts Chatham for the 2nd time. First pitch is slated for 5:30 p.m. at White House Field. Devin Dobeck and I will be on the call with you once again tomorrow on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. But for now, we say so long for our producer, Sean Sears, guiding us through the night here, and for my broadcast partner, Devin Dobeck. I'm Wyatt Kopelman saying so long. One final time, your score 5-2. Harwich falls to the Bourne Braves here for the 2nd time in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. Mariners fall 5-2, but for now we remind you to always live the dream in a league of the Cape Cod Baseball League where the stars of tomorrow shine tonight. 5-2 Mariners fall here in the